Hey guys, Skyheart here, giving you a behind-the-scenes look at my latest film, Johnny Thunder and the Labyrinth of the Mountains. It has been forever since I said something like that. Let's get started, shall we? Okay, few things I need to address first. First of all, you may notice that my voice quality isn't as good as it normally is on here. I am having problems with Audacity concerning skipping that's going on when I'm using a high quality mic, and I know it's Audacity because it doesn't do that with other programs. So my brother is working on getting me a program that should still be able to pick it up without any problems. Until we get all that sorted out, bear with me. Also, sorry if you're hearing weird noises in the back. I'm actually in a rental house with much of my extended family. So yeah, got that out of the way. So this movie started with research. What else is new? I was just researching. I literally had a book called Ancient Treasures, or like Undiscovered Treasures. I don't have it on me, so I can't remember exactly what it's called. And it mentioned this maze that led to a city of what they called pseudo-humans. Or not pseudo-humans, excuse me, quasi-humans. Thank you. So, obviously, something interesting to send Johnny after. However, I was also kind of baffled on what to make this. How was I going to make this work? Because the legend was very vague. For starters, half human, half what? Quasi means half, or part. So, I eventually decided to just do the only thing I really could do with minifigs and make them half animal. And I really made sure that only animals that would actually be found in Peru would be there. So we had, obviously, alligators, and then snakes from the jungle. And yes, there are bears in Peru. Read Paddington. Actually, they're called spectacle bears, and they're, as far as I know, they're the only bears found there. But there are bears in Peru. And I kind of went from there, that these were the original Incans that were rescued by the llamas. And then the other thing I was able to fit in was the Nazca lines, which, funny story, I actually called them crop circles at first because I got confused. I don't know how I did that, since as far as I know, crop circles are originated in Australia, and I'm an Austriophile. I've got a shrine of Australian thing in my living room, but my mistake. I actually had to change the script to do that. But there's been, as far as I know, nothing solid on what creates these on what these lines are for, rather. And I decided, well, what if they were the map for the maze? That would make sense for, again, for people to be guided through the maze. And then the last thing that I thought of was the typical South American legend of El Dorado. And the problem with that was, I had read, I want to say it was in National Geographic, but don't count that archaeologists had discovered that this was most likely made up by Spanish invaders, and that in fact the old deposits they found were from rivers. So it's kind of an interesting twist at the end, how despite everything Johnny and his mates go after, El Dorado wasn't going to be real. Kind of an interesting callback to just, you know, how far into fiction can I go with this? Because I make a lot of legends seemingly real from all different cultures. So I have one that I was going to say, nope, I draw the line at this. And then was the idea of bringing Daniel into it, Johnny's father. And this has been something I've toyed around with doing for a while, having an adventure that Daniel started and that Johnny wanted to continue. And it also gave me an opportunity to finally finalize what Johnny exactly means when he's talking about this man. That was a a very good father to Johnny, and he was this explorer that Johnny really looked up to, but his life was ended very quickly and very suddenly, much to, as you can imagine, much to Johnny's grief. So I was glad that I was finally able to finalize what happened to Daniel and just what this means to Johnny as a character. It finally gave me a chance to do what makes Johnny Johnny. And this isn't the last time I'm going to do this either. In fact, my next Johnny film is going to feature a lot of Daniel, or what I have planned. And it's going to focus on Dr. Kilroy's side of it instead, so you guys can look forward to that. Although, I'll tell you guys now, I plan to go into Pippin's past much. Her backstory is one that I really need to play carefully. It's a little bit controversial. And honestly, between the scene in Toucher of Lies and with what Johnny men they have in this film, I'm already getting a lot of huge hints what's going on with Pippin. I think rather than going hugely into her backstory, I'm just going to be giving little hints. I might introduce a few things, though, how she became a journalist, how she met Roy, how she met Johnny, perhaps. I'll throw in a few things like that if I feel they're necessary, but after establishing a solid backstory, I think for this I'm going to just give hints and let you guys figure it out. Oh, and then the last thing I want to mention is exactly why this took so long. Obviously, I've been on an unexpected hiatus, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to go on another one. Here's what's going on. I know in the update I said school was what was getting late, and I will admit that was the big one. But I honestly had everything that could go wrong with this. I had troubles with Audacity. I had to switch laptops because my old laptop died. I had to get a new camera because my old camera died. My new camera had a very severe glitch that made it next to impossible to film. I had lost lines. Euphraiana, I am incredibly sorry for that. I had a huge amount of writer's block when I was writing it. This is one of those situations where if this was a real film, people would suspect the set as being cursed or haunted. Just that much went wrong. Also, the goggles, you guys may notice that Pippin's without her goggles, the goggles broke on me. And no, I didn't just step on them. In the ice set, I was getting that ready, and I had just thrown the minifigs into these little pockets that the ice base has. And when I was fishing with my hand to get them out, I felt something snap between my fingers. And when I looked, there was Pippin's goggles in two pieces. They'd fallen for her helmet and snapped. So, Pippin thankfully still has her helmet, which is good because I know in her older versions I just kind of showed her, and that just didn't work as well. But also just having her as the pilot of the crew, at least in my version, she needs to have a pilot's helmet, I feel. But unfortunately, I don't know when or if I'm going to be able to place those goggles. I have quite a bit of other Legos that I need, so we shall see what we see. I think that's about it. So, hope to see you in my next big picture, Alpha Team Clouds of Gloom. And that will hopefully come out in October. That will hopefully give me enough time to fix everything that's going on. I will get it out in October for sure, though, because that would make it very appropriate, as that would be the anniversary of when my sister was hospitalized for suicidal thoughts. And as you'll see in the film, those two tie in very well. So, stay strong, do your best, be yourself, and hang on tight. Things are all friendly, and if they are, it's not the end. Later!